My daughter calls me at the same hour every night and asks, "Are you by yourself?" If I say yes, she hangs up. If I say no, she demands to know who's with me. Last night, I said I was alone. I never expected that lie to save my life. The phone call came at 8:47, same as it did every night. A precise, unyielding ritual that had become the metronome of my evenings. Lily's face would appear on my screen, a perfect, worried miniature of her father's. Her voice, still high and sweet at 10 years old, would ask the same question. "Are you by yourself, Mommy?" It was a script we'd been performing for 6 months, ever since David died and his mother, Eleanor, had tightened her grip around our lives, turning concern into a velvet-lined vice. Tonight, for the first time, I was not by myself. Marcus, my sponsor, sat in the wingback chair across from me, his presence a quiet, solid anchor in the storm of my grief. He was sipping tea, the steam curling around his weathered face. He'd come over because the anniversary was approaching, and he knew the pull of old ghosts could be strong. I looked at Lily's image, her brow furrowed. The question hung in the air, weighted with an unspoken dread I couldn't decipher but felt in my bones. If I said no, she would demand to know who was with me, her voice sharp with an anxiety that was far too old for her. Eleanor would have coached her, of course. It was all part of the narrative she was spinning, that I was unstable, fragile, a recovering addict who couldn't be trusted alone with her own child. That I was entertaining strangers, falling back into old habits. Every no was a data point for Eleanor's case against me, but every yes brought its own strange consequence. If I said yes, that I was alone, Lily would simply say, "Okay, Mommy, I love you," and the line would go dead. The silence that followed was always more terrifying than the interrogation. It felt like I'd passed a test, but had no idea what the stakes were. Tonight, I looked at Marcus, his calm eyes meeting mine, and a rebellious, exhausted spark ignited in my chest. I was tired of the tests. I was tired of the scrutiny. I was tired of my daughter being used as a pawn in her grandmother's suffocating game of control. So I lied. "Yes, sweetie," I said, forcing a brightness into my voice that felt like swallowing glass. "I'm all by myself, just reading a book." Marcus raised an eyebrow but said nothing. He understood the intricate dance of family manipulation better than anyone. He'd lived it himself. "Okay, Mommy." Lily's voice was small, relieved. "I love you." And then, the click. The screen went dark. The silence descended, but this time it felt different. Colder, heavier. I put the phone down on the coffee table, my hand trembling slightly. "I'm sorry you had to see that," I said to Marcus, my voice barely a whisper. "It's her, Eleanor. She's turned Lily into her little informant." Marcus set his mug down. "You have nothing to be sorry for, Clara. That's not a phone call. That's a daily psychological evaluation administered by a 10-year-old. It's cruel." He was right. It was cruel. To both of us. He stood up, stretching his back. "I should probably head out. Let you get some rest." I nodded, though the thought of being truly alone now filled me with a fresh wave of anxiety. As he walked toward the hall closet to get his coat, we heard it. The soft, metallic scrape of a key in the front door lock. My blood ran cold. I froze, my eyes wide, fixed on the door. It wasn't my key. I only had one, and it was on the hook by the door. David's was somewhere, lost in the shuffle after his death. The only other person with a key was Eleanor. She'd insisted, for emergencies. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic bird trapped in a cage. Marcus stopped dead in the hallway, his back to me, hidden from the entryway by the angle of the wall. He caught my eye, his expression hardening, and put a single finger to his lips. He didn't move. He just stood there, a silent, unseen sentinel in the shadows of the hall. The door swung open without a knock. Eleanor stood on the threshold, silhouetted against the dying light of the porch lamp. She was dressed in her usual immaculate black, a mourning dove turned predator. She didn't look surprised to see the lights on. She looked expectant. She stepped inside, closing the door behind her with a soft, definitive click that echoed in the sudden, suffocating silence of the room. Her eyes, the same piercing blue as her son's, scanned the living room, taking in the single teacup on the table next to me, the book lying open on my lap. She smiled.
Full story on channel link below.